My husband's net worth is over 100 million. I don't need to work at all.
My husband's liquid assets alone are $1 billion. Did I mention it?
My husband is a master of judo and karate. I feel so safe with him.
My husband can take down 10 strong men with his bare hands. It's just a piece of cake.
Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 billion in funds. Ding! Congratulations to the host for acquiring top-notch combat skills.
Honey, if you keep bragging, the entire planet will be mine.
The story starts with Yigol, a cheerful delivery driver, rides home after a long day, thinking only of reaching the bridge before dusk. Approaching the bridge, Yigol suddenly notices a girl sitting dangerously outside the railing. Fearing the worst, Yigol quietly approaches and pulls her to safety. Gripping her hand tightly, Yigol pours out an earnest, rambling plea for her not to give up on life. Suri listens, quietly amused, realizing this stranger is not a threat but an earnest fool trying to save her. Suri teasingly asks if he plans to hold her forever, catching Yigol completely off guard. As Yigol lets go, Suri shifts, and he instinctively grabs her again, sending her into a startled shriek. Yigol carries her to a safer spot away from the bridge before finally letting her go. Yigol threatens to call the police, insisting she can't escape from his fast legs. Suri stops him, and for the first time, Yigol truly looks at her, struck by her extraordinary beauty. Suri, amused, teases him about staring, then quietly notices that he too is unexpectedly handsome. Flustered and embarrassed, Yigol tries to make a hasty retreat. Suri stops him instantly, threatening to jump into the river if he leaves. Trapped by her words, Suri suddenly grabs his hand and asks him, softly, to marry her. Flustered, Yigol tries to refuse, but Suri persists, introducing herself and pressing him toward marriage. Suri pushes further, suggesting they marry first and date later, leaving Yigol utterly speechless. Suri challenges his hesitation, asking bluntly if he's even a man, pushing him toward a decision. Suri hands Yigol the marriage certificate, and he can barely believe he's really married. Suri jokingly offers to get a divorce instead, but Yigol instinctively refuses, unwilling to let her go so soon. Yigol vows earnestly to work hard and become worthy of her. As they leave, a Range Rover screeches to a stop, revealing Suri's old classmates, Quinn and Bob. Quinn mocks Yigol's plain appearance, while Bob eyes him with envy. Suri introduces Yigol as her husband, shocking her old classmates. Quinn sneers that Yigol is just a delivery guy, mocking his modest earnings. Suri fires back sharply, claiming Yigol is worth far more than Bob's family fortune, defending her husband fiercely. Touched by her fierce defense, Yigol's affection for Suri deepens, even knowing she may be exaggerating. Quinn's pride is wounded, realizing Suri's words cut deeper than she intended. Yigol calmly points out their parking violation, adding one more sting to their retreat. Bob speeds off in anger, leaving Quinn shouting after him, much to Suri's amusement. Yigol asks Suri playfully where she's really taking him, to remove a kidney or his heart first. Suri simply drives him back to fetch his tricycle, the one thing he'd nearly forgotten in the chaos of the day. Suri drives off, leaving Yigol alone with the marriage certificate, a key, and a note, feeling as though he's dreaming. A mysterious system suddenly activates, revealing itself and granting Yigol a staggering reward of wealth. Yigol realizes last night's dream about the system was real. He's been granted a wife's boasting system that turns his wife's boasts into reality. Suri's earlier boast of his wealth manifested as $1 billion in real assets, including 11 apartment buildings run by contractors. The system even fabricated a believable backstory, a college lottery win and years of investment, making his fortune appear legitimate. Sitting on his tricycle, Yigol quietly says her name, resolving that no matter how their marriage began, he must win her heart for real. He opens Suri's note, written in graceful handwriting, revealing her home address and a heartfelt offer, 1 month to decide, or a divorce with a generous settlement. Yigol vows never to divorce her, tucking the note safely inside the marriage certificate as if preserving her very presence. Following her address, Yigol arrives at Suri's ordinary but tasteful home and steps inside for the first time. Yigol notices dust on the furniture, confirming she truly hasn't been living there, and stands hesitantly before her bare-marked bedroom door. Deciding to respect her privacy, he instead opens the neighboring guest room, untouched and impersonal. Determined to build their relationship, Yigol decides on the spot to move in, packing up his old rental immediately. After buying daily necessities, he returns and tidies the home, filling it with warmth while carefully avoiding Suri's private room. Exhausted but still in disbelief, Yigol rests on the bed, walking through the house repeatedly to confirm this isn't all a dream. Deciding to check on Suri and support her as a husband should, Yigol dresses simply and heads to her company. Arriving at the address, Yigol is stunned to discover that Suri's company is, coincidentally, also in the rental business. Yigol arrives at Suri's company, only to be turned away by a staff member who doesn't believe he's her husband. Unable to prove his claim, Yigol quietly agrees to wait in the customer rest area. Bob Presley suddenly reappears, demanding to see Suri and growing aggressive when staff turn him away too. Yigol steps in to block Bob, standing firmly between him and the door. Bob mockingly assumes Yigol was paid to play the husband role and offers to buy him off. Yigol coolly rejects him, throwing his own insults back and warning him to leave Suri alone. The two exchange bitter threats, but Bob, unwilling to fight in public, backs down and storms off. Impressed, the staff member returns to Yigol, now taking him more seriously and asking for his name. Yigol simply tells her to report that her husband is here, leaving the staff member stunned.
Husband.
Moments later, Suri emerges and affectionately greets him as husband in front of the entire stunned office. Touched, Yigol explains he came because she hadn't been home and he wanted to see if she needed help. Suri leads him into her private office, away from curious eyes, and lightly scolds him for calling attention to their marriage. Suri brushes off his concern, declaring she'll proudly call him husband every day as long as they're married. She returns to her desk to finish work, and Yigol quietly watches her, marveling at his good fortune in having such a capable, beautiful wife. Yigol notices Suri is quietly struggling. A rival leasing company has been poaching her clients, and she's too proud to bend. Yigol gently asks if she's having property sourcing issues, but Suri brushes him off, insisting it's not something he can help with. Yigol quietly excuses himself, stepping out under the curious stares of the entire office. Alone in the washroom, Yigol reaches into thin air and conjures a file folder from his hidden system box. Inside are his property deeds and, remarkably, the very contracts tied to Suri's struggling client relationships. Returning to Suri's office, Yigol sets the folder on her desk and asks her to simply look at the back page. Suri is stunned to see Yigol's signature already on the very contract she needed, unsure if it's real or a kind deception. Yigol, delighted by her reaction, confirms it's genuine, teasingly asking her to take over the project so he doesn't have to manage it himself. Suri laughs, touched, and carefully tucks the contracts away, advising him on how to handle the client's negotiation tactics. Yigol insists his assets are now hers too, declaring there's no need to separate yours and mine as husband and wife. He tells her to prepare for growth, hire more staff before the contracts expire, while he simply enjoys wandering and delivering packages. Before leaving, Yigol reminds her to come home early for dinner, promising to cook something for her. Suri watches him go, smiling to herself, still struggling to believe she impulsively married such a devoted man. She reflects on her decision to marry him and her quiet plan to test whether he's truly ambitious and genuine, not just another suitor after her looks. She decides she's looking forward to going home early, curious whether her new husband can actually cook. Meanwhile, Yigol walks away feeling triumphant, savoring his new life of wealth, ease, and a wife who isn't after his money. He reassures himself that with the system's endless support, he'll never have to worry about money, and that treating Suri well only strengthens his fortune. Yigol reflects that he must appear impressive in front of Suri so she'll boast about him and unlock more rewards from the system. He's already given the 11 buildings to Suri outright, reasoning that if they ever part ways, she wouldn't want them anyway. He shops for cooking supplies, determined to win her heart the old-fashioned way, through a home-cooked meal. Back home, he cooks an impressive spread of 16 small dishes, pouring real effort into the meal. Hearing the door open, he rushes to greet her with slippers, playing the doting husband with practiced ease. Suri, flustered by his sincerity, quickly puts on the slippers and retreats to her room, unsettled by how natural it all feels. Yigol grins to himself, satisfied that his plan is working exactly as intended. Inside her room, Suri checks a hidden strand of hair she placed on her door, confirming Yigol never once intruded on her privacy. Touched by his restraint, she sits at her dressing table, replaying their whirlwind encounters in her mind, heart racing. A knock at the door snaps her back to reality. Yigol has brought a basin of hot water for her to soak her tired feet. Moved again by his thoughtfulness, Suri quietly invites him into her room, saying she has something to talk about. Inside her simple, book-filled room, Yigol notices the signs of a quiet workaholic life, understanding her a little more. Without hesitation, Yigol kneels down and begins washing her feet, his sincerity leaving Suri's heart pounding.
Tell me about your parents.
Suri softly asks about his parents, and Yigol, delighted by her curiosity, answers warmly that they are farmers. Yigol jokes that his parents just want grandchildren, brushing off any notion that he's secretly a rich second-generation heir. He calmly explains his wealth came from a lottery win and years of careful investment, admitting he hasn't even told his own family yet. Suri wonders why someone with his means is still single, and Yigol turns the question back on her, sparking a shy exchange. He tells her his true net worth is more than the 11 buildings, but he'll keep it mysterious, a small scheme to keep her curious. Yigol gently promises that his only goal now is to make her the happiest woman in the world. He reminds her that everything she boasted about him to Quinn turned out true, deepening her fascination with him. Suri asks for his phone, testing his openness, and he hands it over without hesitation, unbothered by what she might find. Scrolling through, Suri stumbles on suspicious video thumbnails, and Yigol hastily stops her with a sly grin, amusing her further. Finding little else of interest, Suri saves her number into his phone as baby wife and hands it back after labeling herself in his contacts. Yigol discovers she's labeled him ugly monster husband, but takes it in stride, amused rather than offended.
Okay, that's hilarious.
He playfully invites her to copy all his contacts for her own secret investigation, and she eagerly does, exchanging numbers fully. Later, alone, Yigol is surprised by a new system notification. He's been granted divine-level chef skills, complete with full culinary mastery. Yigol wakes to a system notification, realizing Suri must have unknowingly boasted about his cooking, earning him divine-level chef skills. Flooded with new culinary memories and knowledge, Yigol immediately heads out to buy fresh ingredients to test his incredible new skill.
Let's go!
Suri wakes to an irresistible aroma filling the house, feeling a hunger she's never experienced before. She reflects on how, unlike every man before him, Yigol has proven genuine, capable, caring, and never shallow. Realizing she's only in her nightgown, she hesitates at the door, torn between modesty and curiosity about testing Yigol's restraint. After a moment's struggle, she musters her courage and steps out to see him cooking.
Yigol?
What are you doing here?
Yigol, focused on cooking, briefly glances back and tells her to wash up, seemingly unfazed by her appearance. Suri hurries back to her room, flustered and secretly disappointed by his lack of visible reaction. In the kitchen, Yigol suddenly realizes what he just glimpsed, regretting that he was too focused on cooking to properly appreciate the moment. After a satisfying breakfast, Suri finds herself completely won over by his extraordinary cooking before heading to work. Yigol walks her out, shielding her from the rain with an umbrella, his quiet attentiveness touching her once more. As she drives off, Suri casually asks him to wash her clothes later, unknowingly sending both their hearts racing. Suri stops the car down the road, her heart pounding as she second-guesses the flirtatious weight of her own words. Meanwhile, Yigol hangs their laundry together, staring at her small garments, realizing their relationship is moving faster than he expected. Yigol thoroughly cleans the entire house, including Suri's room, but respectfully leaves her wardrobe untouched. Once a man who saw housework as beneath him, Yigol now happily does everything for his stunning new wife. Exhausted, he rests on the couch, seriously considering how to secure both his future and his growing feelings for Suri. Deciding to win her heart fully, Yigol heads out to buy chips, candies, and red envelopes stuffed with cash for her entire office. He prepares 23 red envelopes, each stuffed with $1,000, and orders an upscale lunch for the whole staff. Arriving at Suri's office loaded with bags, Yigol stuns the receptionist by announcing gifts and money for everyone. He reveals he's Suri's legally married husband, casually clarifying the situation before the receptionist can even react. He announces he's already ordered lunch for the whole office, leaving the receptionist speechless with gratitude. As Yigol heads to Suri's office, the staff excitedly gather around the gifts, discovering the red envelopes hold a stunning $1,000 each. The male colleagues quietly realize Suri is a woman entirely out of their reach, both in beauty and now, evidently, in fortune. Suri is surprised to see Yigol at her office again, and he teasingly asks if she's already tired of him. Yigol massages her shoulders while explaining what he did, and Suri is stunned by the sheer generosity of the gesture. He insists money means nothing compared to her, then asks her to hand over the disputed contract so he can take over managing it himself. Suri, moved and a little disbelieving, hesitantly agrees to let him sign the contract on her behalf. Yigol pushes further, dictating a one-sided clause that heavily favors her protection, prompting Suri to push back. Playfully asserting his dominance, Yigol jokes about forcing her fingerprint onto the contract, and Suri finds his boldness strangely endearing. Still negotiating the contract, Yigol pushes an unyielding clause, insisting Suri accept it as his wife or he'll simply transfer the property outright. Bob Presley returns to the office with a bouquet of roses, his intentions towards Suri obvious to everyone. The receptionist mischievously hands him wedding candy, informing him that Suri Drew was already married. Realizing the truth, Bob's face darkens with fury as he demands to know who Suri married. The receptionist proudly confirms Yigol is their new boss, showing off her own red envelope as proof of the marriage's reality. Enraged, Bob hurls the candy back and storms towards Suri's office, cursing her under his breath. An employee quietly trips him, and the entire office erupts, dragging him down and beating him before he can reach the door. Yigol and Suri emerge to find Bob being beaten by the entire staff, both stunned by the office's unexpected loyalty. Suri quickly moves to stop the beating, prompting Yigol to step in and take control of the situation himself. Bob struggles up, battered and defiant, still hurling insults, until Yigol coldly orders the beating to continue. Furious at being called a coward for using numbers, Yigol steps forward personally and slaps Bob down himself. Standing over him, Yigol coldly reminds Bob exactly where they first met, the marriage registration office, and declares Suri untouchable. With a final warning and kick, Yigol makes clear that harming or harassing his wife again will have consequences. Thoroughly beaten and humiliated, Bob loses all his nerve and flees the company. The employees erupt in applause, praising their new boss for his commanding display. Yigol rewards their loyalty with a generous permanent raise, sending the office into joyful celebration. Hey guys! If you're seeing this, it means you've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your feedback, so please drop a comment below. Let me know what you think of the novel. Also, if you have ideas on how I can make these videos better, feel free to share. I really appreciate the help. By the way, if you're looking for the title of the novel, I've pinned it at the top of the comment section. See you guys next time.